Historically, America's healthcare system was pretty much pay out of pocket. This wasn't a problem up until the 1930s because healthcare was seen as a basic human right. It didn't cost thousands of dollars to be seen by a doctor. As medicine advanced and World War II began, health insurance became an option for some. Once America entered the war and the demand for employment across all sectors shot up, President Roosevelt froze everyone's wages. This was to keep inflation at bay and prevent employers from poaching each other's staff. You have to remember, his whole plan to rebuild America was built upon holding the wealthy accountable for causing the Great Depression. And it worked. Our nation boomed. But there was a dark side that snowballed into one of America's biggest issues. Because employers couldn't entice workers with wage increases, they began offering health insurance as a benefit. This worked so well that the government agreed to make it non taxable. That meant it officially became cheaper to offer health insurance than it was to raise an employee's pay rate. Now enter the business elite class, whose only goal is to milk every penny out of every aspect of our lives. They began streamlining employer based health insurance to hell, honestly, until the only people that had access to healthcare were those that had stable unionized jobs. Like every movement in our history, the poor and the elderly and POCs were pushed out completely. Those millions of people would not receive healthcare until 1965, when LBJ rolled out Medicare and Medicaid. This was now the third time in our history that America's elites were checked by the people. The first being Lincoln with slavery, the second being FDR with the Depression, the third being LBJ, like I just mentioned. Now, the fourth time that we check the elites also happens to involve healthcare. And what's even more poetic is it came from a black man. President Obama's Affordable Care Act gave millions of Americans access to healthcare by making the rich pay their taxes. Since then, the elites have been puppeteering from behind the curtain. They shaped the private sector in a way that funneled everything to them. Then they used that money to shape the political arena to their benefit. Now they've officially gotten their claws into every part of our government. This is generational beef. We took their slavery money printer, then we made them pay for the Great Depression, then we made them pay for hoarding access to medicine, and now they want it all back with interest. When you realize that America's history is only a handful of generations long, you realize how petty politicians can make things seem. You realize by tracing family trees that many of our public figures are into some really nefarious shit. The longer we pretend that governance is rocket science, the more we shy away from talking politics, the more nefarious it gets. Knowledge really is power, and it's time people start learning about this stuff.